Yo, feels like it's been a while. So while we watch the marshals bounce the invisible basketballs, I'll explain where and what we're racing in today. It's a public sodi session, Daytona, Milton, Keynes, and if you've seen my previous videos, you know it's not my first time here. It is, however, my first time in the sodis. Only ever done the D-Maxes, and honestly, the difference is night and day. Best way I can explain it, if you've got a sim, it's like driving an F1 car. You've got to be precise. Drive an MX-5 or a hatchback, and you just send it and see what happens. Not a serious session, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Anyway, let's get into the action. We're behind Luke with a load of traffic, and we need to pick our way through quickly to catch front runners. Think about sending it up the inside of Luke, doesn't quite work, so we back out. Luke's going to try to get past 33. 33 looks like he's going to move over, dive for the inside, taking the absolute piss with track limits. We was committed though. Luke gets a bad exit. We tuck into the slipstream, and with the momentum, move to the inside. To get alongside though, yellow flag pops up. I'm not sure if I should have given the position back. I just edge ahead. I hadn't fully completed the move. Should I have given that back? Let me know in the comments what you think. Anyway, next up, car 35. I'm going to see car 31 going slowly. We're going to try to go around the outside of both of them, but as we get to the corner, car 35 goes for the inside. Car 31 pushes us wide, and that has cost us the position. So coming down into turn 1, Luke has a little look at the inside. That's to back out. So easy move around the outside. And watching car 35 into the chicane goes well too deep. He's going to have no exit speed. Another easy overtake. And we've got car 27 up in front as he blocks our lines. We're going to have to switch to the inside. We're carrying the momentum. Should be an easy overtake. And now we get our head down as we want to try and find the front runners as quickly as possible. So skipping forward, with Jason in front, George ahead of him, a little long train. So there's a green flag, and as we come onto the straight, we're going to be looking for the slipstream of car 28. Jason and George already on their way, so we need to catch up. They're going to start fighting soon, and we want to be there. And as you can see, as we get alongside car 28, Jason is on George. We can see lap traffic, so this is going to hold them up as well. So George looking for a way past. Lap traffic holds the inside. They're going to have to go round the outside. We know he's going to go deep, so we're going to set up for a switchback. And it works perfectly. As Jason gets knocked off track, we're just going to slot him behind. We don't want to take the position. Didn't feel like it would be fair, so coming into the chicane, and George and Jason carry much more speed. Jason clips the inside curve, bounces, loses momentum, and coming into turn 4, they both go for a late apex. We do the opposite. Early apex, more exit speed, and it works. We look up to the inside of Jason, but just gonna scrub too much speed, so we leave it open, let him come back through. We don't want to waste time to George ahead. It pays off though. We're carrying enough speed to hold the position, and we start squeezing, leaving him just enough room. See him brake slightly, so we cover it off. Now watching George, we can see we're just going to go for an earlier apex. We're going to try to keep the steering as open as possible and just build momentum going onto the back straight. As we watch him coming into turn 8 though, we want to get a better exit, but he locks up, pointing the wrong way. We've had to back off just to save an incident, so that's going to cost us. As you can see, Jason right behind us, he had to lift also, so we're safe. Good reactions from him, and we managed to carry enough speed just to break the toe. So coming up to turn 10, we catch George under braking. I thought it was going to go into the back of him, but he just flies off, gets a good exit. So coming into the final corner, down the start-finish straight, and we carry all the speed we can into the slipstream. We're going to start gaining on him, and coming into the chicane, only a few minutes in, and the battle has finally started. So we're going to go for a tighter line, get a better exit speed, thinking about a move, but we just back out. Thought it would have been a bit desperate, but that caused us to miss the apex slightly, so we lose a little bit of time on George. And coming into turn 7, he takes a tighter line. We're going to go wide. We want to carry as much speed as we can into turn 7. And with some slipstream, it could be doable. But if you look ahead, you can see we're coming up on some traffic. George is going to get through, so we're going to follow him. And as we come through the corner, you see George clips the curb, little bounce. That's going to cost him. That's going to cost him a little bit of momentum. We're right on him. There's nothing really we can do though, so I'm just going to give him a little push forward. We don't want to lose any speed, so we're going to set up for the back straight, and he slides through the corner, absolutely kills his exit. Perfect for us. Pull to the inside, get alongside. Now we're going to just switch to his POV. You can see as we get past, flying down the straight, he slots in behind, and into turn 10, we absolutely just send it. Almost lose the rear, catch it, and George closes back up. coming into turn 11, we need to get a good exit. Taking a tighter line than George does, so we do get a good run. And watching the footage back, apparently I'm the only one with brake lights. So anyway, coming into the chicane, George sends it through here. We take a tighter line. We're actually focusing on the exit speed for this corner here. So he's going to have a look on the inside, but we're just carrying well too much speed that for him to be a threat. So turn 5, and we're going to take a wider line. We want as much exit speed as we can. We're thinking ahead for turn 7 and turn 8 onto the back straight. So, but as we come into turn 6, we clip the curb and we go wide. Nearly get put in the barrier. Gives George a chance. He has a look on the outside. We're holding the inside. We're giving the room. We want to race fair, but now it is just turned into a full-on drag race to turn 8. Managed to get the lead. A turn well too early. Clip the barrier. That's going to cost us. So we're going to move over to defend. We're going to force him to scrabble some speed as he activates human DRS. So another drag race. We're just holding him tight to the inside, but we decide just to go back on the racing line. Try and carry as much speed as we can into turn 10. But we're off the line. We're driving defensive, so he gets the switch back. Retakes the position into turn 11. We're back behind him. Well played by him, but there's no rush. Rome was not built in a day. So coming into turn 1, we're going to have a little look into turn 2. We're not going to try and do anything here. We just want to see his reaction, see what he would do. And he's made it very clear. Need to earn the space. So tough but fair racing. And that's exactly how I like it. So turn 5. We're going to opt for just a tighter line than he does. It's going to cost us a little bit of exit speed, but we can make up for it with a little bit of slipstream. And then turn 6, we're going to turn late. We're going to get the car rotated early. We want to basically straight line it to kart 7. Build as much speed as we can so that as we get to turn 8 onto the back straight, we'll be side by side. But as you can see, as we approach turn 8, yellow flag, all of that for nothing. Well, I say for nothing, but knowledge is power. Silver lining. We know the lines, we know the track a bit better. So down the straight again, and a bit too far back to get slipstream until the higher speed. So we need to just George to punch a bigger hole in the air, and you can see the toe kick in. We're right on him for turn 10. More confident on brakes, but we still leave a little bit of margin for error. Anything can happen. So coming onto the start finish straight, and we're just going to start building our speed. We're going to start gaining as we come into turn 1. As we look ahead, we see lap traffic. So we're going to use that to advantage. We're going to back off, create a little gap through the chicane. As George looks to the inside of the back marker, and we time it to stay on the racing line. Past kart 32, full speed. Coming up to turn 5, and we're going to take a tighter line. We're going to lose some exit speed from it, but again, we'll gain back what we lose through the slipstream. As you can see, works perfectly. Coming into turn 6, you can see George misses the apex, so he's going to go wide. We're going to have a little look on the outside, but doesn't work. Closes the door. Fair racing. Tough, but fair. No complaints. So, looking ahead, and we can see more lap traffic. Turn 8, and George clips a barrier. Slides slightly, loses a bit of momentum, and that's a perfect chance for us to get alongside with him, especially with the help with the slipstream. It should be easy done. With the lap traffic, we're going to use that to our advantage. As we switch to his POV, we can see we go straight defensive. Early on the brakes, wasn't sure what he's going to do. Timed perfectly. George back on us. So we're going to need a good exit coming out of turn 11. Slipstream is strong here, as we've seen, so we need as much speed as possible. He's gaining slipstream coming through turn 1. And as we come into turn 2, we know he brakes a lot later than us, so we take a tighter line, so he's going to be right back on us, but we're just trying to build our speed up, hold him behind. So late apex, just so we can keep the steering open, get a slightly better exit. So coming into turn 5, and we're going to make this as wide as possible. We want to carry as much exit speed. He gives us a little nudge. It actually helps us out massively. We're just going to keep the momentum up. We want to be pulling away from him. We want to break the toe. But as we come through turn 7, we can see a kart spun. So he's not in our way, just a little bit off-putting. So switch back to our POV. And now we're just going to keep that momentum up, and we're just going to break away. We can see the lap traffic in front of us. So we need a good exit out of turn 8 here. And we're going to put this kart between me and George. We're in this slipstream. And he doesn't look like he's going to do anything crazy. So we're just going to switch to the inside. Put that kart between us. And as we come through turn 10, if you're wondering, did that work? It did not. So he's still on us. We're gonna have to go defensive, which means we've got no speed coming down the start-finish straight. So he's gonna send it up the inside. We're leaving the room. As we come up to turn 2, we're just gonna have to yield, but he goes deep, so we're gonna set up for a better exit. And he goes back on the racing line. As we look to the inside, he leaves us the space. We're gonna leave him the space on the outside, and he's carrying much better exit speed than us. So turn 5, we're gonna go for a tighter line. We're gonna get to him. We won't as much speed as him, but it should be enough. And as you can see, we're coming to lap traffic, and I didn't know how to get past, but George, being the gentleman that he is, how fair is that? Leaves us space to get through. So we're just gonna return the favor. We're gonna give him a little nudge to get past this. We want as minimal casualties of war as possible. So now turn 8, create a little gap. As we come through, look, you see he slides, he gets a bad exit, so we're on him. We're not as alongside as we wanted to be. We did have to slightly lift, so it's another drag race coming into this fast left-hander. We've got the inside, and we're just going to go defensive. He's going to set up for the switchback. We're going to cover it off this time. He looks to the outside. Just not enough. So he's going to slot back in behind. For now, we're safe. So we're just going to skip forward a little bit. Not much changed, and you can see some lap traffic again. And we missed the apex, so if we get a good run, plus the benefit of slipstream, we should be with them. By the time we get to turn 10, we should be able to clear these 2 back markers quite easily. So the benefit of the slipstream, we're going to look ahead to kart 19, and as he comes into turn 10, he locks up, he has to take evasive action. Ooh! Ooh! Oh, he was not happy. So look to the outside, and George down the inside.
Oh my god, I forgot about that part.
He goes deep though. We get the inside, let him know we're just coming over. No idea why. Anyway, so let's resume this battle. So we'll skip forward, and we're behind kart 19. We need to get past him, one without ruining his race, but without ruining ours. So I'm gonna get a good exit out of turn 3. Coming into turn 4, he misses the apex. We're gonna have a little look on the inside. Side by side. He's more than likely going to go deep, so I'm going to set up for a switchback. He's going to cover it off. Oh, contact! We have to lift. Now we're losing time. So coming up to turn 6, I'm going to try and look to the outside. Carrying a bit more speed. He sees us. We're going to have to go for the inside. Turn 7. George following us through. Now they're side by side. Kart 19 got a good exit. We're going to give George a slipstream. See if we can help him get past. Doesn't seem to be enough. We may have our first casualty of war here. So, turn 8, same again. We're going to have a little look. You can see, I'm going to break the toe from kart 19. Give George the slipstream. We're just too far away. So, is this going to help us in any way? Is George going to get held up? Contact! He slides! Coming into turn 10, he spins himself out. That buys us some time. George had to go the long way. Create a bit of a gap. So, skipping forward. You can see Jason up in front. He's actually waiting for us. I can't remember what happened to him now that I think back. This was a while ago, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the battle was going to start again. So we're waiting for George, and we're actually just going to let him in front, which is a privilege. I never let slower people in front of me, so that should speak volumes if I let you in front of me. Anyway, coming down the start-finish straight, and I'm too busy looking at the time on the board that I don't notice that they both back off. I didn't know what happened, so we'll go down the inside of George. Switch back to his POV, and now we're going to hunt down Jason. As we come into turn 4, you see it gets snap of oversteer, so correct it, but now George is right on me. But we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about Jason up in front, so we're going to try and get a good exit out of turn 5. Try and carry as much exit speed as possible. We want to bring the fight to Jason. Not really a lot can happen right now. It's more just setting up. Everything can be done down that back straight, so we're just aiming to carry as much speed as possible into turn 8. So we switch back to our POV. We can see just ahead of Jason some lap traffic. And if we watch him, we see he completely misses the apex. That causes Jason to nearly a collision. Time that perfectly. We get around the outside of both of them. A double overtake. But a yellow flag neutralizes the race. So we're going to skip forward again and we get past the incident. Not sure what happened there, but we're going to let them back past again, which feels like round 53 of this fight. So kart 32 up in front, pushes George wide. He actually has to go off the track. He had nowhere else to go. So we're going to look to the inside and give Jason a little bump. He was off the line because of the back marker, so we're just going to push him back up to George. And they fly through this chicane. We take a tighter line, and then coming up to turn 4, give Jason a little nudge. It was unintentional, but it just puts him off balance. So I'm going to give him back the racing line. We're not going to look for a move. So coming through turn 5, he goes for a slightly tighter line. We're going to keep the steering wheel just a little bit more open than him. Plus the slipstream, another nudge. We want to push him up to George. George seems to be running away. We want to just relax, wait for the right time. And that right time is when we get to George. Ideally, we want these two fighting, and we'll just pick up the pieces and slip through them both. So coming up to turn 8, watching George. Jason seems to miss the apex. That compromises his exit. So forward by the inside, we can see George pulling away. We're going to slip behind Jason, and we're actually just going to bump draft him, close the gap to George. And it's going to be shaping up to be a three-way fight right to the very end. So turn 10, and we've closed that gap. You see George bouncing through turn 10. Now we're in range. And as we come through turn 11, you can see a fight is about to erupt. Again, we're just going to sit back, and we're going to be ready to pick up the pieces. Close enough to strike, far enough to be safe. Come through the chicane. George bounces off the curb into the barriers. That kind of looked painful, so just want to make sure he's all right. He gives us a thumbs up, and so we wait for him. Jason wants to make sure he's all right as well, but that ended up being the last lap, and that was the end of the race. So checkered flag, not the ending I wanted. It's the race we got. As you can see there, between me and George, 0.07 seconds of a, what's that, 700ths. Jason behind him by 400ths of a second. Minimal time between us. Brilliant racing, good fun. That is the best racing I've had in a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Most importantly, Merry Christmas.